Yeah, it was nice for me personally. I had a couple of days back in London, so some warmer temperatures and less rain, which was very enjoyable. But it was good for the players. We worked hard on a Saturday here. We're lucky to have the facilities that we've got here. They worked really hard, had 2 days off, and it's just about a maintenance program with the players. Their fitness levels are really good. It's making sure that we get the load in right, and if we can do that, then we'll be in a good shape. So again today, they worked hard. They worked hard on Tuesday. Lighter day tomorrow. I'm ready for the weekend fixture.
You said before a lot of this hectic schedule is all about game management. Does that set you back when you have something like that, or does it help?
No, not really. I'm a bit bemused by this hectic schedule because I'm just talking next door that down south they have 10 more league games and they have 4 international breaks. So we were Saturday, Tuesday, so, with a lot more travelling involved. So I'm not saying bemused, very politely. I don't see this massive fixture congestion.
The league have reintroduced a winter break for next year, Mark, and also there's the League Cup revamp as well, which is taking place. What are your thoughts on both of those changes?
Am I right in saying the winter break is just 2 weeks off? So it's an international break. It's just an international break. There's 4 of them down south. I'm not sure that constitutes a winter break, if I'm honest, because all we would do would be play on a Saturday, recover on, have a recovery session Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, give the players 4 days off, and then we're back in for a normal week. So the players would get 3 or 4 days off. If that constitutes a winter break, well then, so I don't really see it. As I say, down south, Premier League and Championship, you have 4 such breaks, plus the additional 10 fixtures. So I'm not really sure on that one.
Do you think there should be a proper break in the winter in Scotland, given the weather we do have, given the fact that there are 3 domestic competitions? Do you think there maybe should be a 3-4 week chunk?
Maybe. I think it's difficult because in terms of player preparation and rebuild up and mini pre-season, so I understand the debate there, but the focus you mentioned there has been on starting earlier, in which case you put in a winter break. When do we finish the season? The players need to recharge, the players need to get over injuries, they need to come back fresh and fit. Pre-season for me is the most important time of the year. It's a chance you get to work with the players for 6 weeks, to bed in new individuals, to bed in tactical ideas and to really work with the players, go away on your tour. So you need to give yourself that chance, and that needs to be the highest quality. In terms of the league format, League Cup format, I just like, personally, just my opinion, I understand why it suits others. I just think a pre-season programme should be starting lower in quality and building up to the week before with the best possible test.
The argument, I suppose, with the League Cup is that they're trying to get more fans in the gate in the summer and get more competitive football, which some say helps teams that want to try and qualify for Europe, gets teams up to speed quicker.
I'm not sure I agree. No, I personally don't. As I say, it's just my view. I don't buy that. So if we could have a pre-season whereby you have 5 or 6 games, you play a non-league opponent, you play a lower league opponent, you play one just below, and then your last couple of games are against an English Premier League team and a top European opponent at packed Ibrox, that for me is ideal. That for me is ideal, and that's how I'd work it down south, and I'd look to work it up here as well. That would be the perfect scenario for us. I'm not sure it suits the bigger clubs. I'm saying that very polite. I don't sure it suits the bigger clubs to have a pre-season programme where your last 2 games could be against lower league opposition. I don't think that's the ideal scenario. Not for elite level.
You're not competitive.
I can play because there's a referee doesn't make it a competitive game. That's not being disrespectful in any way. I'm just saying that it's a level of, I'd love to play a top Bundesliga club or top La Liga club at Ibrox and see where the players are a week before the start of the season. I'd love to play an English Premier League team to see where we are, because the nearer you get to start the respective seasons, the stronger those teams are going to be in terms of conditioning and the fitness work they've undertaken, tactical work they've been carried out on the training pitch, and they're in better shape. So I'd like to know, where are we Rangers in comparison 1 week before the start of what would be a very important league campaign for us.
It's likely because unless the club or team win the Scottish Cup and qualify for Europe, that you'll be taking part in this tournament next season. Would that give you any concerns in terms of how you would then prepare your team for, if you were to get promotion, a Premiership campaign?
I think there's been a lot of debate. You guys have asked a lot of questions about Scottish football improving the elite end and the national squads and everything else. I spoke to Gordon Strachan last week. It was great to talk to him and get his thoughts. And you've got to focus on improving the elite end. You have to do that. So when you go away, I look at the clubs, again, the Premier League clubs down south. When they go North America, Australasia, their internationals have been in the European Championships, will be resting. The young guys get the chance to travel with the first team, work with the first team staff, get used to hotels, fixtures, etc., media. fantastic experience for the young players, and we've got to give that to our young players. The better experience we can give. So if we, for example, as a club went to North America for a pre-season and had a couple of fixtures, and we took 6, 7, 8 young under-20 players, fantastic. Great experience. We see how they deal with it, how they cope, they get their chance. Look at Barry Mackay. I never knew Barry Mackay before I came to Rangers. He'd been great from the first day of pre-season and done fantastically well for us. I look at Ryan Hardy, I look at Jordan Thompson, look at all these young guys who are doing well. They deserve that chance, and then they should go and star in their national squads at 17, 19, 21, etc., and gain invaluable experience to prepare them hopefully for a future in the national squad, full national squad. That's got to be the aim. And I understand that many will be very happy with the new format, I'm sure, and you're talking about spreading money out throughout the system. But then the other conversation is the elite end of international teams.
So, but you're concerned then for next season, because I suppose it can only be 1 year if you were to qualify for Europe the year after, you wouldn't be involved in the group stages. But next season, are you concerned it would have an impact on?
Absolutely. Personally, I want the best pre-season programme for Rangers Football Club. That's got to be, I'm Rangers man, that's got to be my aim. Our aim here, David, Jim, the staff, has got to be to provide the best possible competition and preparation for, I hope, a successful league campaign. Now, you say you may impact GB in Europe. If we're in Europe, the Scottish teams, as far as I see, suffer from the fact that they're 4 or 6 weeks behind Scandinavia. Draw a Scandinavian team in European competition and pay the price many times. So therefore, when do you come back to pre-season? If European football starts second week in July, when do we come back? First week in June? When do you finish the last season to get the 4 to 5 week minimum rest that you need? So it's about looking at the whole calendar as, applaud the fact that people are looking at positive change. That's great, because football needs to embrace change. But I think we've got to look at what we're trying to improve and what clubs are trying to impact.
Do you think summer football would benefit Scottish football long term?
I can see why, but then you've got to change the whole calendar.
Would you be in favour of that?
Again, I can see, do you want to play on a nicely grassed pitch in 65, 70 degrees with a crowd in shirt sleeves? Fantastic. I get that, as opposed to the games last week being called off. I understand it, but there's a lot more to it in terms of the calendar. And you're trying to look at the biggest clubs in Scotland playing in the highest level of European football to give the best players the best exposure and experience to then go and impact the Scottish national team. That's the idea of it. That's what you want. You want the young down south, they want the young English players playing in the highest level of competition possible to prepare them for the national team. That's what you need. So we have to, are we talking about the whole Scottish game and filtering money throughout the system to help everyone? Or are we talking about the elite end of the market where the guys at the biggest clubs are hopefully impacting the national squads? I think there's two different debates.
Mark, the back pages this morning have you linked with a move for Dundee's Greg Stewart. Is that something that you're looking to pursue?
Amazed to see such headlines. A very talented player. We look at many players down south and in Scotland, of course, but bemused by some of the headlines.
So when you say bemused, that's because you're not interested in him?
He's a very talented player. He's not my player, and we would never conduct our business that way anyway. But no, it's just one of many players that we're apparently linked with.
Are there players, just sorry on that, are there players in the Scottish Premiership at the moment that you would actively look to? I don't expect you to name names, but are there players in that division?
If we can secure a player that we think adds a quality that we don't currently possess, then we'll move. If it's possible to do the deal, then we'll move. But Rangers will conduct their business in the appropriate way, hopefully.
Is that a market that you're looking in though? Because I know you've spoken highly of loan market, you've also spoken highly of unearthing gems from non-league, but is the Scottish Premiership a realistic market?
We've got to look at every available market. I'm sure all our competitors do the same. We've got to look at any market that we can get a player or players that add value to our current squad. That's all we're going to do.
Mark, you expressed your commitment quite clearly to Rangers last week. Your name's come up in conjunction with the Swansea vacancy now. Is that a frustration, or are you...? No,
it's compliments to the players. It's credit to them. The fact that any manager, any coach only ever gets linked to jobs. It's always flattering to be linked to jobs, and it only ever gets linked if we're winning games of football.
There was a suggestion from one journalist in England yesterday that there had been contact between Swansea and your reps. Can you clarify? This,
again, I'm not just going to repeat what I said last week, so I surely can't go down that path again. The fact is, it's just all credit to the players. That if they're winning games of football, you only ever get linked if the players are doing well. So it's credit to their performances and their achievements thus far this season.
Mark, big game against him, coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Have you allowed yourself to look ahead a wee bit?
No, not at all. Our only focus is Morton on Saturday. We train really well Tuesday, train well again today. Just had the analysis session on Morton. We'll have another one tomorrow. Train lighter tomorrow in preparation for the game. We're looking forward to hopefully a very busy Ibrox and a good performance, but nothing beyond that on Saturday.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks very much. Team news. Good. Nice to welcome Nicky Law back to train this morning. Full contact, so Nicky's back in the squad. Great to see that because he's had a frustrating time. Cammy Bell, near coming outside, so he'll be very early in the new year, hopefully. And Dave Templeton's getting closer, so the squad's in really good shape. That apart, we're fitting well. Touch wood.